Hello, Authentic Brand Leaders. I just wanted to do a live stream video today to talk a little bit more about navigating change, our topic for this week. So if you're here and you're live, I would love to hear from you about whatever upcoming change you're facing, with some comments or with like the reaction button on Facebook Live. So the reason why I chose this topic for this week was because it's kind of appropriate for the changing of the seasons. This time of year, there's just so much going on. Yay! Hi, Natalia. There's just so much going on this time of year with graduations or people moving or people changing jobs or people making the transition from their 9-to-5 jobs into becoming their own business owner. So there's just a lot of big changes and transitions that goes on, especially this time of year. But obviously your whole life, there's always going to be times of transition. So today I really just wanted to kind of break down actually 3 parts of a transition that you may not realize that's going on whenever you're navigating change. This information that I am sharing with you actually comes from a book called Transitions, Making Sense of Life's Changes. I have the book here, but it's on my Kindle. I don't really have like the real book here. And it's by William Bridges. It's a great resource. It's a little bit long and lengthy, so I'm just going to kind of give you the SparkNotes version of it today. So again, whenever we're talking about transitions, we're talking about like a big change. So people tend to think that when you're going through a change, you start with something new, right? There's something exciting that's on the horizon. Maybe it's a new promotion. Maybe it's, addition to your family or something. But people tend to think like, oh, there's something new. That's the start of a transition. But actually, the first phase of a transition is actually the end of something. Something has to end before something can begin. Something has to come to a close before you can start a new beginning. So the first phase of a transition is the end of something. And when something ends, that can be really exciting, but the thing to kind of focus on when something ends is to start to really like disengage in that ending. It's to kind of really be more intentional about like letting go and releasing a couple of things. Knowing that you're not doing this anymore and kind of finding the freedom to stop, to end things and to end things well. That's the kind of like the point of the end of something. So if you take the example of graduation, so the end of something is the end of your schooling and the end of your training. So really knowing that season of your life is coming to an end, and just being aware that you may have some feelings of mourning or sadness or disengagement, and that's perfectly fine. So focusing on just kind of letting go of whatever that may be is important when something is ending. And then the second phase of a transition, of any transition, is called the neutral zone. So the neutral zone is also something that not people are really familiar with, but this is kind of like the awkward part where something has ended, but the new thing hasn't really started and you haven't really gotten into the swing of something new. So the neutral zone, that's kind of like whenever you are kind of thrust into like a lot of questioning your choices questioning your decision to leave something. Just, I like to think of it as like the very like soul searching part of any kind of change, where you're not quite sure, you're kind of doubting like whether you made the right choice or not. And just to kind of encourage you, like that's perfectly normal and that's all a part of the process. So again, with like the school analogy, this is kind of like your summertime. This is kind of like the I'm just going to have fun, or I'm going to finally take some time for myself. That's kind of before, my job starts, or before I take more classes in the fall. But the purpose of this time is to kind of, again, take a step back and reflect on the things that have happened to you in the past, and kind of plan for the future. So yeah, so the neutral zone, it's a real thing. And it might feel like you're just kind of like stuck in the muck and stuck in the middle of it, but it's all a part of the process. And the last phase of transition is the start of something. This is the exciting part. This is your new beginning. This is your new role as a small business owner, or this is your I just graduated and now I have my first big girl job. This is the beginning of something, so it's really exciting, and it's new. It's your new fresh start. So the thing to focus on during this part is to kind of make the most of it. It's to set up your routine and to cultivate those relationships so you can get into the groove of things. Yeah, and to kind of bridge the gap between going from the neutral zone to the start of something new is to kind of just dig in, get your feet wet, create those routines and consistency, so you actually feel like you're doing something. Yeah. So that's basically what I had for you today, and what I just kind of wanted to share with you a little bit about those transitions and kind of breaking it down, and just to let you know a little bit about those three parts. So again, I know a lot of you are going through a transition of your own, but I just wanted to let you know that you don't have to do it by yourself, and we're here for you. So I'd love to hear in the comments or in the group itself, just kind of what upcoming changes are you going through, and how do you want to be intentional about making that change as smooth as possible? And if there's any way that we can support you in that, let us know. We'd love to help. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the group. Bye.